That's a pig head.
Looks delicious.
Hi there, Ran. It's been a little while. Did you miss me? You thought you buried me, didn't you? Risky. Cause I always come back. Deep down you know that. Deep down you know I'm always in periphery. Ran, on your pleased to see me. It's been weeks since we spoke, bro. I know you need me. You're the sheep, I'm the shepherd. Not your place to lead me. Not your place to be biting off the hand that feeds me.
Hi, Ren. I've been taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still. I've been taking some time to be by myself since my therapist told me I'm ill. And I've been making some progress lately. And I've learned some new coping skills. So I haven't really needed you much, man. I think we need to just step back and chill.
Ren, you sound more insane than I do. You think that those doctors are...
This is not what I was expecting.
This is nothing like... I didn't know what I was expecting, honestly. I just knew it was Hi Ren by Ren. I had no idea what to expect. I want to go back and talk about the intro where he was playing the guitar. Mm-hmm. It was displaying that there were kind of two sides going on just through the guitar play, because it was very like pretty and flowing, and then each kind of run would start to distort near the end, and he'd like go right back and like pull the notes back to the higher notes and be back to the flowing again, and it'd slowly lower in tone as you would watch his fingers go up the neck of the guitar. It'd get lower and a little bit more distorted in the way he was playing it, and then he'd pull it back down. That takes talent. It's not easy to make your guitar sound distorted without outside influence.
Well, that and being able to convey the emotion through your instrument.
Yeah.
You know, especially something so discordant as that. Like
yes.
this kind of mental schism.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's interesting the way it starts to be that mental schism. Now, you could tell there was something going on psychologically just from the imagery in it, where he's what's the word I'm looking for?
The
location.
Setting?
Yes.
Setting, yeah.
You could tell based on the setting. Thank
Right.
you. I was like, S word.
S-word.
It's an S word.
S-word.
Then he goes straight Gollum once he starts singing.
Mm-hmm.
And if everyone's seen Lord of the Rings, you know he looks one way when he's Gollum, he looks
Yep.
the other way when he's Smeagol.
Yeah.
Goes straight Gollum.
I love that.
Really, that's a guide. You've been through this a million times. Your civilian mind is so perfect to always being lied to. Okay, take another pill, boy. Drown yourself in the sound of white noise. Follow this 10-step program. Rejoice, all your problems will be gone. Fucking dumb boy.
Nah, mate, this time is different, man, trust me. I feel like things might be falling in place. And my music's been kinda doing bits too. Like I actually might do something great. And when I'm gone, maybe I'll be remembered for doing something special with myself. That's why I don't think that we should talk, man. Cause when you're with me, it never seems to help.
You think that you can amputate me? I am you, you are me, you are I am we are one. Split in two, that makes one. So you see, you gotta kill you if you wanna kill me. I'm not leftover dinner, I'm not scraps on the side. Oh, your music is thriving, delusional guy. Where's your top 10 hit? Where's your interview with Oprah? Where are your Grammys, Ren? Nowhere.
Yeah, but my music's not commercial like that. I never chase numbers, statistics or stuff.
So anytime, that's really relatable to artwork, you know, whether you're doing music or any kind of art where you're really pouring yourself into something, you got that voice like, nah, like you're not really doing, and business too. Business is another area that is very similar to art in this way, where you really pour yourself into something and maybe it's not turning out like exactly there. And there's that voice saying like, so what is this? Like, if it's so good, you know, where's your interview with Oprah? You know, what is this? And it's like, no, like, it's getting. I feel like I'm getting somewhere. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, look at this? Like, you're you're no further than where you started. It's like, no, but I feel good about it this time. Like,
That fighting within yourself. I mean, that's the fighting you have to deal with any time you want to be creative. There's a book called Do the Work, and in the book he talks about resistance, and you're fighting against resistance. And a lot of times your worst enemy in actually completing something is not any of the things that, like, this argument he's having with himself. You're not getting on Oprah. Those aren't the argument. The argument is with yourself, to get yourself to actually do the thing. It's all in your mind, and it's all just resistance that you have to just push through. And I mean, obviously he pushed through it because we got this, but this is poignant.
yeah.
I never write hooks for the radio, they never even play me, so why would I concern myself with that? But my music is really connecting, and the people who find it respect it. And for me that's enough, cause this life's been tough, so it gives me a purpose I can rest in. Man, you sound so pretentious, Ren, your music is so self-centered. No one wants to hear another song about how much you hate yourself, trust me. You should be so lucky, having me inside you to guide you, remind you to manage expectations, provide you perspective. That thing you neglected, I get it. You wanna be a big deal, next Jimi Hendrix, forget it. Man, it's not like that. Man, it's just like that. I'm inside you, you twat. No, it's not, man, you're wrong. When I write, I belong. Let me break the fourth wall by acknowledging this song. Ren sits down, has a stroke of genius. He wants to write a song that was not done previous. A battle with the subconscious, Eminem did it. Played on guitar, Plan B did it. Man, you're not original, you criminal rip-off artist. The pinnacle of your success is stealing other people's material. Ren, mate, we've heard it all before. She sells seashells on the seashore. Fuck you, I don't need you, I don't need to hear this. Cause I'm fine by myself, I'm a genius. And I will be great, and I will make waves, and I'll shake up the whole world beneath us. That's right, speak your truth, your fucking God complex leaks out of you. It's refreshing to actually hear you say it instead of downplay it. Music is all about the creative process, and if people can find something to relate to within that, then that's just a bonus. Fuck you, I'ma fucking kill you, Ren. Well, fucking kill me then, let's fucking have you, Ren. I'ma do it, watch me prove it. Who are you to doubt my music? Cause I call the shots, I choose if you die. Yeah, I call the shots, and so I choose who survives. I'll tie you up in knots when I lock you inside. Newsflash, I was created at the dawn of creation. I am temptation. I am the snake in Eden. I am the reason for treason, beheading all kings. I am sin, with no rhyme or reason. Son of the morning, Lucifer, Antichrist, father of lies. Mustopheles, truth in a blender, deceitful pretender, the banished avenger, the righteous surrender. When standing in front of my solar eclipse, my name is stitched to your lips. So you see, I won't bow to the will of a mortal, feeble and normal. You wanna kill me? I'm eternal immortal. I live in every decision that catalyzes chaos, that causes division. I live inside death, the beginning of end. I am you, you are me, I am you, friend.
That was so discordant, and like the whole time through, I was picturing it like this is his battle with essentially his shadow, where it's like the shadow is always trying to push to be better, and then you generally will try to dissociate from that. Most people in their journey towards creating themselves will try to push away from that, find solace in other things, especially if you're someone who's highly competitive. And we talked about this briefly when we watched Shadow by BTS, but there's an element that pushes you and drives you to be better and is ruthless in the criticism. And how well you can accept and integrate that positively will very much decide how far you can go in your life, at least as far as I can tell. And this is interesting because at that point it morphed and turned itself completely dark. It started calling on religious and social images of the darkness. I am the temptation. I am the sin. I've been here from the beginning. And I think that speaks elements to like the battle between good and evil runs right through the human heart, that quote, where it's inside of all of us. As long as humans have been around, that darkness and that light, that constant battle within each soul has always been there. I would say that's probably what he's speaking to, but I don't know. We'll see. He definitely made a lot of callbacks to this has been around for a lot longer than people. You can't beat me.
Yeah. And going back to his music, where he goes between these, he starts off with the guitar where that's just the guitar. and then moving into the vocalizing with the guitar, and then coming back to just the guitar after having that big like, you know, and it's like it pulls you back and moves you through the story.
Yeah, it's, you can see almost, if I don't know if I'm reading into it too far with this, but you can almost see it's easy as we try to correct for things to overcorrect and then over pull back after realizing we've overcorrected. One thing that I'm doing that a lot with right now is swimming. I'm trying to overcorrect on a mistake in my form. And when I get tired, because that overcorrection requires different muscles and energy than I'm used to, I pull back to like all the way back where I started, which doesn't help either. And you're constantly in this battle to actually find the good point.
Right.
Hi, Ren. I've been taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still. I've been taking some time to be by myself, and I've spent half my life ill. But just as sure as the tide starts turning, just as sure as the night has dawned, just as sure as the rainfall soon runs dry when you stand in an eye of a storm. I was made to be tested and twisted. I was made to be broken and beat. I was made by his hand, it's all part of his plan that I stand on my own 2 feet. And you know me, my will is eternal. And you know me, you've met me before. Face to face with a beast, I will rise from the east and I'll settle on the ocean floor. And I go by many names also. Some people know me as hope. Some people know me as the voice that you hear when you loosen the noose on the rope. And you know how I know that I'll prosper? 'Cause I stand here beside you today. I have stood in the flames that cremated my brain, and I didn't once flinch or shake. So cower at the man I've become when I sing from the top of my lungs. That I won't retire, I'll stand in your fire, inspire that make to be strong. And when I am gone I will rise in the music that I left behind. Ferocious, persistent, immortal like you, we're a climate different side.
We've introduced a third persona.
So this is really cool. So like you said, there was the shadow, right? Talking and being like, look, like I'm eternal. Like I'm not just your voice. I am the voice.
Yes.
And now this positive driving side.
Yeah.
And before, like when he was responding back, he's very timid. It's like, nah, but it is like I'm feeling good about this. I'm doing this. And it's like, nah, like I'm that other voice. And I'm just as eternal.
I mean, maybe. So there's one point that counteracts.
I'm not saying like they're the same, you know, but like that's what we're introduced to now. Yeah.
Where we've seen him looking 3 different directions, and you couldn't hear me when I looked this way, but he's looking this direction when he's the dark, this way when he's the hope, this way when he's him and he's timid and he's, you know, does a very good job with like the body movement of being timid, the shoulders down, and then directly at the camera for this third persona or growth of the timid persona. I haven't quite resolved which it is yet, but I don't think that matters that much as to the point he's trying to portray, that there are 2 competing sides that we're always fighting against each other.
Right, and we're not just somewhere in the middle. But we're here. It's portrayed like we're kind of this somewhere in the middle, and that we're being pulled by this like. The shadow and this light, you know what I mean? And it's not necessarily like good and evil per se, but like, you know, here's this doubt or selfishness even, or whatever it is, whatever our shadow represents for that scenario. And then also this other side, which is like hope, the drive, like the this is going somewhere. You know, I like that he says that and kind of compares them. It's like doubt and hope, right? And we're somewhere in there trying to find like where we are. It's like, nah, but I believe in this hope thing, but no, I totally get where you're coming at with the doubt. And who hasn't felt that, you know what I mean? So anyway, that's pretty cool. And then coming back into the music, and he does the similar thing to what he did at the beginning, but with a different energy to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. He went from being very timid to being very dominant, like very quickly when the hope stepped in. And I really liked how the Hope stepped in and said, I'm just as eternal as you are.
Yeah.
I have stood by you through all of this time, and I'm still standing despite what you say.
Right.
And it's always a balance inside of ourselves. Everyone will always go through this multiple times in their life. And it's not like you can say, I've gone through that. It's gone now. You've gone through it some number of times, and it might happen again.
Well, it's like these are like whole parts of your psyche, right? It's not just like having a conversation with a dude sometime, right? This is what it is to live and think and process.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm seeing that, and like, I don't know if this is intentional, but what I'm getting from there is we have this contrast of the light and the dark blinking together and this energy in the middle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I was 17 years old, I shouted out into an empty room, into a blank canvas, that I would defeat the forces of evil. And for the next 10 years of my life, I suffered the consequences, with autoimmunity, illness, and psychosis. As I got older, I realized there were no real winners and there were no real losers in psychological warfare, but there were victims and there were students. It wasn't David versus Goliath. It was a pendulum, eternally swaying from the dark to the light. And the more intensely that the light shone, the darker the shadow it cast. It was never really a battle for me to win. It was an eternal dance. And like a dance, the more rigid I became, the harder it got. The more I cursed my clumsy footsteps, the more I struggled. So I got older, and I learned to relax, and I learned to soften, and that dance got easier. It is this eternal dance that separates human beings from angels, from demons, from gods. And I must not forget, we must not forget, that we are human beings.
I almost don't want to speak here.
Yeah.
Because what he said was just so eloquent and poignant. That was one of the best ways that I've heard this discussion described.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about it, and you talked about correcting and overcorrecting, and he brought that up. It's a pendulum, and it's not a battle, but a dance, where we're finding this balance of dynamic stability. That's what dancing is. It's dynamic stability. You're maintaining a form while moving, right? And I mean, I can't say that any better than he just did. That was beautiful. I mean,
It's extremely well put.
I just want to put that whole quote just on a wall. Like that was solid.
Yeah, that was one of those quotes that after you hear it, you just want to sit in the silence and let it simmer for a minute. I do like the end of him, just the vocalizing, the ooh, 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 ooh at the end, where you had the blinking of the light showing that darkness side of him was definitely still present, but you had him standing there confident, playing and singing to know the hope side was still present. And you got both personas happening simultaneously. It was like he found a middle ground in the dance. He found that, what you were talking about, dynamic stability. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's over, because exactly as he said, we're not gods, we're not demons, we're not angels, we're humans, we're somewhere in the middle, and we use these images of angels and demons as a way to orient ourselves in the metaphorical world that we sometimes like to pretend that we don't live in.
Yeah.
Beautiful. This is something that I'm sure I will revisit and watch again.
Yes.
Not for the enjoyment of listening to the music, but for the message it sends.
So this was, I don't say this about a lot of things, but I would say that this is a good example of philosophical artistry.
Yeah.
Especially, like the whole thing, right? The words, especially how he wraps it up at the end. Just a nice monologue at the end there. It wrapped it all together, but the imagery that he chose throughout the whole thing, the way that he uses light and darkness and shadow and all these things, it all plays together to convey this message that he's sharing, which he just wraps up in a nice little bow for you at the end. I mean, there's not a whole lot else to say about this, but this is a nice, I hate using the word nice, this is philosophical artistry. Like, this is something, like you said, worth sitting with for a little bit.
Yeah, and I think I think he understands that it's something worth sitting with. I really understand that he knows that it's something worth sitting with, because one, he's feeling urgent enough about these feelings, emotions, thoughts to tell them to everyone in a monologue at the end of a music video. That's a bold move. But he went beyond that, and at the end of the music video had a significant span of silence. The first span of silence was what's going on here? Why is the music not going? I'm watching a music video.
Right.
And then the second span of silence was him knowing he had just dropped the mic. And I want everyone to sit with this for a moment. So I'm not just going to end the video. I'm not going to cut to something that says, here, go watch the next thing. I want everyone to sit. And so at the end, he doesn't tell anyone to go to any other videos. At the end of this video, there isn't a link to another video of his. It just says, hi, Ren. And that's it. You can click on his channel if you want more.
And the thing is, he's clearly not set out to just be like, I'm just going to make a fun song, or I'm going to make a cool song.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to set out to tell a story about something that has impacted my whole life and continues to, and is a part of human nature. And when we have people, and we call them artists, that's the word for it. When somebody can peel back the veneer and show us what it is to be human.
Yeah.
That's what art is, right? Art isn't painting or whatever. Art is when you can pull back the veneer and you look inside and see, like, that is what it is to be human. And I think that he did that today.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite lines from his monologue is when he said, I stood in front of a blank wall and I announced what I'm going to be, and I paid the price for it for the next 10 years. I think that's something that a lot of people underestimate, is when you set out to really do something, to really accomplish something, how much the cost is on you. That cost shows itself physically in the form of, as he said, autoimmunity and illness. It shows itself in your relationships and how much time you have to spend with certain people. There's a certain level where if you want to reach the levels of, like, say, Elon Musk or Steve Jobs or these huge titans of industry, right? Look directly past the front page that everyone wants to show you. Look at their familial relationships. It's a train wreck. It's a disaster almost every time. And I think that shows people who really set out to do something are paying the price. And you have to decide at what point is the price worth it. I think he said, I've paid the price for 10 years now. Does he know if the price is worth it? That's not what he's going to decide. He's not going to tell you that. And he's going to let you think on it.
Yeah. So I actually took that totally differently.
Really?
Yeah. So I took that as he made a declaration essentially like, I'm going to eradicate my shadow.
Okay.
I'm going to, like, just seek this light only. And the price that he paid was in neglecting his shadow rather than integrating his shadow. And that's what led to this internal turmoil that led to, disease and mental health issues and different things like that. That it was this sense of, like, I'm going to, like, seek the path of light, and in that shadow was always creeping behind, but it was like, nope. And that's where we travel from the beginning of the story to the end, where we have the integration of the shadow, the dance with the angel and the demon inside us. And that's how I took
Interesting thoughts. There's, I think we've all seen people who are, like, when you were in high school, there's someone who's been overprotected by their parents, and they're, like, really naive about everything.
Mm-hmm.
And when they hit adulthood, they're not ready for it. I think that's something that is an offshoot of parents looking towards only allowing their children to see the hope side of the equation and not allowing any of the dark in, to protect them from everything. But the protection can't last forever. Eventually, the veneer will be pulled away and they'll see the darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you enjoyed that music video and want to see us break down something that we also believe is true art, go watch our reaction to Blood, Sweat, and Tears by BTS right here.
Boom.
We'll see you next time.